Hi, I am Gigi, an ex-Amazon bar raiser here at Day One Careers. And in this video, we are going to cover what may have happened if you have had your interview rescheduled with Amazon or AWS. So, if you've had your interview rescheduled with Amazon or AWS, the first thing to do is don't panic. That's rubbish. Sorry. The chances are that there isn't anything nefarious going on, and it's very unlikely to be anything to do with you or their perception of you. Now, there are a couple of angles on having your interview rescheduled with Amazon or AWS, so let's go through them. So let's first focus on early round one-to-one interviews. If you're at an early round interview, you may be meeting the hiring manager or you may be meeting a team member. But whoever you're meeting, it's unquestionable that their lives at Amazon are very busy. They'll often be juggling a diary. Oh, hang on. I guess I should call it a calendar. We say diary here in England, and I do remember that someone from the US told me that apparently that's what teenage girls use to document their angst. But I guess I'm pretty sure that these days that's what TikTok is for. Not Instagram, of course, because everyone's life is perfect on Instagram. You've got to go to TikTok to find all the misery. However, I digress. Where was I? Yes, they'll often be juggling a calendar that has multiple conflicts for meetings and meetings that get moved, and very often without much notice. That's the reality at Amazon. Everything moves at a very fast pace. Now, I do see comments on social media platforms where people say, oh, well, if they don't respect your time, then that just reflects how little they value their employees. The truth is, as with everything in life, it's just far more complicated than that. The reality is that the success rates of early round interviews are pretty low. I've never seen the exact data published by Amazon. I doubt many people other than those really senior in HR have, but in my experience, it was about 1 in 10 to 2 in 10 early round interviews that I did got passed on to the next stage. So now imagine you're the interviewer and you've suddenly had an important meeting come into your calendar for a critical project that you're working on. Let's say there are 4, 5, 6 other people also invited to that meeting. It is improbable that the meeting will get moved just for you. Or, I don't know, maybe your boss, or even worse or better, I guess depending on your point of view, your boss's boss puts a meeting into your calendar. Now you have to choose between those meetings and one that has a 10% probability of success. If you're focusing on optimizing the value of your output, you're not going to be jumping on something with a 90% probability of being a waste of time. Now, I appreciate that sounds brutal, but imagine yourself in their shoes. It's not that they don't respect your time, it's that time is finite and needs to be used as efficiently as possible. Now, most interviewers will try to avoid having to accept a meeting that conflicts with the time they've committed to you, but sometimes they'll just have no option but to have your interview rescheduled. It's got nothing to do with you. It is all about them. So, okay, moving to the final round, also known as panel or loop stage, so whatever you prefer. If this is your rescheduled interview at Amazon or AWS, then chances are you have a recruiter or a recruitment coordinator pulling their hair out. At the final round, there's going to be between 4 to 8 different people interviewing you, depending on your level. Now, they used to try and get all of those done in a single day. That was really a legacy of face-to-face interviews. It took them a little while to break that habit once interviews went to online. Anyway, they're going to try to have those interviews over 2, 3 days at most, although I guess I have heard of 4 days. In the main, the recruitment coordinator or recruiter will have quite a wide choice of people to choose from to make up your group of interviewers. The hiring manager is usually the only non-negotiable attendee. So if they're having your final round, panel, loop, interview, whatever, rescheduled at Amazon or AWS, in the background, your unfortunate recruiter or recruitment coordinator has probably exhausted all other possibilities for getting someone to step in for the original interviewer in that slot. And they've had no choice but to move the slot. Why does this happen? Well, it's for the same reasons we talked about earlier. Now, the odds of success at final round, panel, loop are much higher than in early rounds. In my experience, it runs between 3 in 10 and 5 in 10. So the decision to deprioritize the interview by the interviewer is a much harder one. But again, it's nothing to do with you. It is all about them. So that covers, I think I will take a stab at about 90% of reasons. Now, the other 10%, I have to admit, are a little bit nefarious. On rare occasions, if the hiring manager thinks they have a different candidate close to the line, they might be naughty and push back your interview. That's to avoid wasting their resources and time interviewing you. Now, that is very bad practice and it is absolutely frowned upon. If you're at final round, panel, loop, most bar raisers will not allow that to happen, but maybe also they've been given a full story from the hiring manager to avoid the discussion on why they can't misbehave like that. If it's in earlier rounds, I'm afraid there's no bar raiser oversight at all. I genuinely feel this scenario is in the minority, but kind of felt I needed to share it. So I hope that offers some assurances if you did face a rescheduled interview with Amazon or AWS. I know how frustrating it can be, especially if you've taken the time off work to attend. It is the reality of what time management is like in Amazon. So looking at it glass half full, I suppose, at least it gives you a bit more time to prepare. Now, what you need to do is click the link here to claim your free Day One Careers Customer Obsession Taster course. Watch that and you'll nail every customer obsession question asked of you in your Amazon interview. Or if you want to do that a little bit later, why don't you check out more here of our incredible insights and advice on Amazon interview preparation.